guys, welcome back to my channel or my Facebook page. Thank you so much for clicking on the link or even just the video. I appreciate it. Today I decided to do a look out of the Jeffree Morphe palette. I really do like this look. I incorporated gold, pink, a maroonish color, concealer, eyeliner. I did not do my eyelashes in because I cannot locate them, but the look turned out overall great, and I do love the way it did turn out. So, if you would like to know how to do this look, please stay tuned to watch the rest of this. Also, there will be a video coming up here soon in the next month or two of me and Cassie Knudsen doing a makeup tutorial, and there may be something included into it. I'm not going to give it away yet until the video is posted and out there. So yeah, stay tuned for that as well. I will also be tagging her in it to have her friends see it as well. I'm sure that she'll post it on her makeup page as well. So yes, please stay tuned for everything that's in store, and thank you so much for being patient on my makeup videos. Enjoy! For my foundation, I use Milani Conceal and Perfect, the 2-in-1, and for my primer, I use the Hard Candy Perfecting Primer for mineralizing lines and pores and for a smooth finish. And I usually just put the primer on first, and I do a little bit of foundation. I used to do a lot, but I've learned that that just cakes on and it doesn't look the best way that I want it to, so I just put a little bit onto my blending sponge, and I just blend. For my eyebrows, I use the Profusion palette, and I use Milani Concealer to carve them out. I do the lines underneath my eyebrows, and then I do my arches and underneath my arches just to make sure that I have the outlines how I would like them to be. Then I use my concealer and I go underneath my eyebrows. I never go on top because I feel like that just makes it extra, and I usually do use a line from the bottom and blend up. Then I blend my concealer out just to make sure there's no extra lines underneath. For my eyeshadow primer, I use the Hard Candy eyeshadow primer. Then I'm going to be using the Jeffree Morphe palette, the shade Don't Know Her, as well as the top shade Calaba Sauce, or whatever it is, as well as the shade Back on the top part of my eyes to blend it out. And I'll be using my Milani Concealer to do a cut crease along my eyelids. And I'll be using the shade, again, Don't Know Her to blend out, and the back shade as well to blend out. And the shade Millions, a glitter color on the inside corners of my eyes. And I'm just going back in with the Calaba Sauce to make it look better. Now I'll be using the Tattoo Studios eyeliner for my wings that I usually do on a daily basis. I just do the lines underneath, and then I put the lines on the outside corner of my eyes, and then I connect them down to the lines that I put underneath. And I just make sure that they're even for the most part, and call it good. Then for my eyeliner, I'm going to be using this felt tip pen thing. I don't know what the brand is, but it works, and it's for smoky eyes, so I like using it a lot. Then I'm going to be going back in with my Milani foundation just to fix up the eyeshadow that had fallen all underneath my eyes. Then I'll be using my True Complexion contour palette and my concealer, as well as my luxury baking powder that I had just recently bought and that I do love so very much. I'm just going to start from the corner of my eyes and go out and under the top of my forehead, my nose, and underneath. Then I'll be using a darker concealer from Wet n Wild just to do my contouring part. It makes it easier to blend out with the liquids. Then I'll be adding in the contour palette that I had recently shown you, as well as the Fit Me powder just to help blend in a little bit more concealer. Then I'll be using my baking powder. I usually let this sit for about 15 minutes just to let it bake. And I just put it in all the spots where I had put concealer on. Then I'll just be brushing it off lightly just to help it blend. And then I'm going to go back in with my Fit Me palette that I have for just regular powder, just to help blend it all in, because the concealer is a lot darker than the baking powder, so it just makes it look a better finish. We just blend everything in to make it all look even. And I'll be using my Too Faced Ice Cream highlight palette to highlight. I use a lot of the colors. I use more darker color for the tops of my cheekbones just because I like them more depth. And I use lighter colors for everything else. It's not that pigmented, but in the sunlight you can definitely see how shimmery it really is. Like I said before, I usually just put it on in the places that I had put concealer on just to brighten and highlight. Then for my eyelashes, I'm going to be using the Lash Paradise and another kind that I'm not sure what the name was. And since I don't have my eyelashes, I'm just going to do my regular eyelashes. So they're not as long and luxurious, but they still look good. Then I'm going to be doing underneath with the other kind, not the Lash Paradise, just to make it more depth. Then we have a few more things left. I'm just going to use this Dose of Colors lipstick. It's a matte color. I do use this a lot in a lot of my looks just because I like how it's a natural color and not out there. So yeah. And now the look is almost complete. Just a few more things left here. I'm going to fix up my eyeliner on the one eye because I did miss a part, but at least I can always go back and fix it, right? And now that I have done my eyeliner, my eyelashes, and everything else, I'm going to go back in with the Million shade that I had used before in the corners of my eyes just to add a little bit more glitter. As well as I'm going to be going underneath my eyes with the Don't Know Her shade, the Clava Sauce, and the Million shade from the Jeffree Star Morphe palette. Don't mind my facial expressions, LOL. And this is the Don't Know Her shade. I'm just taking it on the outside of my eye. And now I look like a bad bitch. So there it is for you.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be